Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Today's video is going to be an overview and mini reviews, I guess, of eyeshadow pencils, a ton of different eyeshadow pencils. A couple years back, I did a top 5 eyeshadow pencils video and a lot of you guys liked it, so I thought, some time has passed, new pencils have come, old pencils have been discontinued. It's time for an updated video. So I have been testing a ton of different eyeshadow pencils over the past few months, actually. You've probably gotten sick of me talking about it, just like peppering it here and there in videos and Instagram and stuff like that. So I'm finally done trying them, wanted to share my thoughts, and because I've tried so many, I figured instead of doing a top 5 video, I would share my top 5 here at the beginning, and then I would talk about those that didn't make it in the top 5. Some of them aren't necessarily bad, they're just not my favorite, and then others are just kind of, they're not the best. So I figured it'd be worth talking about those too, in case you guys had questions or were curious about them and just wanted to know more. So we got a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and dive in. First, let's start with what is on my eyes today. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen a sneak peek about this because the first time I tried these, I was blown away. These are from Kiko Milano. They are their long-lasting eyeshadow sticks. They claim to have 8-hour, no transfer wear, and I purchased 2 shades from the Kiko Milano website. To my knowledge, you can't get them in store, which is kind of a bummer because they have a huge collection of shades. I'm not quite sure how many because it is actually Cyber Monday as I make this and their site is down, I think from too much traffic. So I don't know exactly how many shades, but of all of the pencils I'm about to talk about here today, they easily have the most by like 2 to 3 times the amount. It's crazy. And they're not expensive. They're less than 10 bucks. And if you order enough, I believe they have free shipping minimums that you can reach so that if you order enough, whether they're pencils or anything else from Kiko, you can get free shipping. So the shades that I have are number 10, and they don't have shade names on here. Maybe on the boxes they did, but shade 10 is basically a metallic emerald green, really bold, beautiful emerald green. And shade number 46 is the one that took me by surprise. It's what I'm wearing today. It is the only thing I'm wearing today on my eyes. And in looking at this color on the website, I had no idea it was going to be this transformative. So basically, where's a mirror so I can most accurately describe this. So this is like, it has a greenish, grayish, shimmery, no, more like a satiny kind of base, like it's pretty pigmented, and then there are these really gorgeous purple and lavender sort of shifty pigments, iridescent pigments in here that really pick up on the light, and it looks like you're wearing, I feel like I'm wearing 2 to 3 eyeshadows right now, and in reality it is just this one eyeshadow stick. So super multifaceted, would highly recommend you check out this shade if this looks like something you'd be interested in wearing. But yeah, I go back to saying it's unfortunate that they aren't in stores because if I hadn't lucked into this one, I would have had no idea a shade like this was available within the collection. So these are a win for me because of the massive shade selection. You can really choose anything from neutrals to bold, vivid brights. The price is pretty affordable, especially compared to some of the other ones I'm going to talk about. And then obviously the quality, the lasting power is totally there. They last 8 hours and beyond in my experience. I don't wear an eyeshadow primer with these. In fact, I should probably talk about what my standards for eyeshadow pencils are. So when I talk about like what made the cut in all of these, it is a pencil that will last to full pigmentation through 8 hours at least. Like I'm looking for like more 12-hour wear, and I like them to do it without a primer and without needing to be set with a powder, and they have to blend really nicely into each other because the point of a crayon or an eye pencil for me is the convenience of being able to swipe it on, blend it out, and run out the door. It's like the fastest eye routine you can get your hands on, and so that's really the standard for me for eyeshadow pencils. So just know whenever I say good quality amongst the top 5, or even amongst those that maybe didn't make the cut for other reasons, if they're good quality, it's because they check all of those boxes. So that is why these are a win for me. I just wish you could swatch them in person. Now moving on to the brand that pretty much started this whole eyeshadow pencil update video thing. It's Nude Sticks. They make some incredible eyeshadow pencils, and when you buy them in bulk, and by in bulk I just mean in these pre-made sets that they come out with in tins, you can get them at Ulta or Sephora, they're actually a really good deal per pencil. If you buy them individually, they're kind of expensive, like between 20 and 25 per pencil, I want to say. And although the quality is good, it's a little steep. So if you're wanting to try some both eye and lip, they have combinations of eye and lip pencil tins that you can check out. I have quite a few of them if you want to see like a full video walking through them. But although one of these tins is around $55 to $60, maybe they're $59 a piece, when you consider you get 5 to 6 pencils that are almost full size in each of them, it puts the cost per product pretty comparable to that of a drugstore product. So this is kind of, it goes back to depending on how you like to buy it. It could either be more of a luxury price tag, or if you buy it in a set, not so much. But either way, these had to be in the top because, like I mentioned, the shades are gorgeous. They have these really beautiful classic metallic neutral shades. They also have really beautiful matte shades that are good, not just as one and done shades across the lid, but it's also a crease shade if you want to get a little bit more intricate with your eyeshadow pencil work. And again, the quality is also there. They last all day. No creasing, no fading, nothing like that. Next up are some Girlactic eyeshadow pencils. These are the metallic shadow sticks. And based on one of you guys' recommendation, actually, you sent me, I think a sale they were having. So I picked some up in that. These are right around actually, I think they are exactly $20 a piece. So there's kind of a weird price tag split. There are like the ultra cheap, like $5 to $6 drugstore price tags. Then there's the Kiko / if you buy nude sticks in bulk, that sort of $10, $15 price tag. And these kind of are sitting right around there at 20, because after that it starts getting to like 25, 30, and for some of these, that's like how I found it hard to justify recommending some of these pencils to you guys. So these are right in that in-between price tag sweet spot, and it's an interesting collection. There are 10 shades? 11 shades in this collection, 2 of which are iridescent shimmery shades that you can use to kind of transform your shadows. One is a deep matte, like a very inky black shade, and then the rest are metallic shades that really are true metallics. It's not those that you're going to sheer out and you're going to see a lot of shimmer in it. These are like true metallic eyeshadow pencils that come in a ton of beautiful neutral and both colorful shades. I have like a bold copper and a beautiful forest green. So a really nice diverse selection of shades. Again, to my knowledge, these are only available online, maybe in select stores, but the bottom line is I didn't have a chance to swatch these before picking them up. So like the Kiko, that's kind of a downside, but because of the vibrancy of the shades, the longevity of the shades, how easy it is to work and blend with them on the eye, and the fact that they provide more versatility in terms of finish, like these are easily the most metallic, I think, of all the shades I'm going to talk about, and they offer those iridescent transformative shades. These offer that kind of difference in shade selection that not all of the other 4 other pencils, I guess here, that I'm going to talk about have. Oh, and before I move on, something else I want to mention about those is I have actually placed 2 orders with Girlactic now. The first one, I got the matte black, and then it turns out 2 of the iridescent shades. I didn't realize they were sheer iridescent shades, so I went back for more opaque metallic shades, and with each order I got the same discount code for 20% off. So if you're wanting to try these and $20 is a little steep, I will place that code in the description bar below if you're interested in using it. Moving on to, this is kind of a sad one. I have talked about these so much in my Sephora recommendation videos, like back in the day. I believe I mentioned them in that top 5 eyeshadow pencil review video that I originally posted, but it looks like when I checked on these on the Sephora website, they are down to just 3 shades. They are the Marc Jacobs Twinkle Pop Eye Sticks, and I love them because they have this really cool cooling sensation on the eyelids, which if you have allergies, if you have dry eyes, if you just generally have kind of fatigued feeling eyes, these are such a nice fresh sensation across the eyelids in the morning. Plus they're incredibly pigmented. I think all of them are very high shine. There aren't any mattes in this collection, so those of you that might not care for shimmer or metallic finishes might not love these, but I think they're totally beautiful and very worth it for the cooling texture. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any of the shades that are currently available, so none of these shades are accurate, but just know they're beautiful pencils. The sensation is very neat, and I think kind of practical. It's like more than just a marketing gimmick. It's practical if you tend to have irritated eyes, and so I definitely think they are worth checking out. Now on to my last pick for my top 5. These are some that I've raved about before on the channel. They are the Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon. I think that's it. They're the Color Chameleon eyeshadow pencils. I have a few shades to choose from, and these are a little bit different than any of the other ones that I've selected because, and moving on to my last pick for the top 5, these are some that I've mentioned before here on the channel. They're from Charlotte Tilbury, and they are the Color Chameleon eyeshadow pencils. And I guess I haven't mentioned before, typically you get 0.05 ounces worth of product in each of these. It's a pretty fair comparison across the board when you consider price. The one exception to that are these, and then some jumbo pencils from the drugstore I'm going to talk about later. But given the price per ounce, it's not much, but these are actually kind of a better deal in terms of a luxury pencil and the price versus how much product you get. That in combination with how richly pigmented the colors are, how smooth they are. I have had all of these for, I mean, I shouldn't say, whatever. You sharpen a pencil to sanitize it, so I'm comfortable sharpening it and knowing that it's over a year, maybe 2 years old when I'm still using it on my eye area. But they still haven't dried out. They're still perfect, amazing quality. And what I notice in these, in comparison to the other shades that I have across my other picks, is that these do, some of these include glitters. Now, not all of them, so I recommend you find a counter, a Charlotte Tilbury counter if you can, or find them in Sephora if you can. Just swatch them and see which ones have glitter and which don't if you don't like glitter. But they offer that differentiation in texture in some of these shades too, which I really, really like. So those are my top 5 picks. Now let's get into some of those that I didn't really care for one reason or another. Let's start with some of the more affordable selections, which by the way, there were. I was struggling with that a lot, and a lot of you guys gave me some good recommendations. You know, just, well, we'll get into it. So first off, the Maybelline Color Tattoo crayons. Now, these I did used to like. I'm not sure if they changed the formula, but they're kind of inconsistent. So I have 2 shades here, one of which is a golden shade. It's called 745 Gold Rush. This applies really patchy. You put it on, you can see there's a lot of sparkle in there, and then as you blend it out, it really just kind of blends out into sparse sparkle across the lid. I didn't really notice it setting. It kind of flaked and faded throughout the day. I didn't like it. It didn't meet my criteria for a good eyeshadow pencil. This purple, or called Lavish Lavender shade, is a little bit better. This is more of a smooth, continuous metallic finish. It's pretty richly pigmented. I noticed a little bit of fading with it, but nothing quite as bad as the golden shade in here. So not bad, but across the board, not consistent within the shade range. So you should definitely, I mean, you couldn't check out Lavish Lavender if that sounds like a good shade for you, but I'm not really comfortable recommending like all the pencils in this collection, just knowing how inconsistent the quality was between these two. Next up is a pencil from the Ulta Beauty collection, which is such an underrated collection of products not talked about here on YouTube. This is the cream eyeshadow and liner in the shade Cup of Joe. Now this wasn't bad. It's very richly pigmented and it lasted a good amount of time. It was the blending and the texture that just didn't sit well with me. It's, I think maybe because it's supposed to be a liner, it has more of a thicker, waxier texture. So as a result, I found it blended unevenly across my eyelid and it sat a little bit heavier than a lot of these other formulas that I talk about here today. I don't know what it is, like I don't have sensitive eyelids, so I'm not normally that aware of how heavy a shadow sits, but just, you know, in really paying attention to how these felt, this one felt a little bit different. And between that and the, you know, patchiness and blending because of that different texture, it just, you know, didn't check my boxes. Oh, it also wore kind of funky throughout the day. Like some days it looked good, other days it looked like it had developed some patchiness, like maybe I had applied it patchy and in some fading throughout the day, those patches were showing through more. I just experienced some inconsistent wear with it too. Next up, I wanted these to work so bad. I really, really liked them, but they just couldn't make the wear time cut for me. They are the Collab Ultimate Eyes Cream Eye Color. I got 2 shades. I bought them from Sally Beauty, so the nice thing is I think there are 10 shades in the collection, all of which are pretty safe, toned down neutrals. You know, even the colorful shade I have here, which is Amethyst Lust, is a pretty neutral leaning, you know, kind of soft purpley shade, dusty purple shade, I'll say. But there's a solid variety, and you can go into a Sally's to swatch them. Well, I mean, to look at them if you kind of want to see a true to color reflection of what is in this tube. But like I said, they just couldn't cut it on the wear time. Now with a primer, I'm sure they could, but because I have all of these other pencils that I prefer and can do it without a primer, without needing to be set or used in conjunction with some other product, these just didn't make the top 5 for me. So know that they are good products, and if you're willing to go through those extra steps to make sure they last, they are really nice eyeshadow sticks. Last up for the more affordable eyeshadow sticks, I have the CYO Metallic Eye Stick, which I talked about when I did kind of the big brand best and worst video. This was not my favorite. It's not awful, but kind of like this gold pencil from Maybelline's Color Tattoo collection. It blended out really sparsely across the lid, so you can layer it up to get that metallic finish, finish, but I noticed needing a base again with this to kind of get it to set and stay. And also there's a pretty limited shade range with this one, as well as this next one, which again came close to making it in the top 5, but for the fact that there are 4 very neutral basic shades in this collection. But I think this is the cheapest one that I have tried. It's the Catrice Cosmetics Style Eyeshadow Pen. Picked this up from Ulta, and this specifically is in the shade, oh no, what shade is it? Shades of Gray. So I picked this up, very richly pigmented. It lasts a good amount of time, like squeaking in at that 12-hour mark. It wasn't as strong as some of the other contenders here, but it did a pretty good job at lasting throughout the day. But when you compare it to something like a Kiko, where for just a few dollars more, you get the same quality, but like 10 times the amount of shade selection, it's no contest for me, but a good option for someone who really does just want like a basic neutral eyeshadow pencil. These last two were just kind of ridiculously priced. They are the Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick. The shade that I have is Golden Bronze, and then the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Color. I have the shade Plum. Both absolutely beautiful, extremely pigmented, long wearing, but these you get 0.05. They're like the thinner eye crayons for 0.05 ounces worth of product, and the Bobbi Brown is $30 for an eyeshadow pencil, and the Laura Mercier is $29 for an eyeshadow pencil. They both have a broad range of shades to choose from, but I just can't justify spending that much money on these when there are so many others that I think do just as good of a job. I will say that the Bobbi Brown is like glue. It dries down, and once it's on, it feels like second skin on your eyelids, and it gives you this high shine metallic finish, but when it's actually worn and compared to the lasting power of some of the others that I have in my top 5, I just don't know that it's worth that, you know, $10 price hike for one shade. So know that the quality is good, but I just don't know that the value is there for the money. All that said though, guys, I know that we are all gonna have different criterias for our eye pencils, which is why I wanted to talk about not just the top 5, but all those that I have tried in case, you know, some of these sound like crayons that you would go after. I hope it was helpful either way. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!